Hey, Abnormal Family. We got a story for you that was sent in by one of our viewers, but they wanted to remain anonymous. I read over some of it. It's kind of freaky, but we'll go ahead and get started. This was what this person believed to be an extraterrestrial uh, event in October of 2016. And also, I had three more after this one. It was a normal Friday evening at first. My dad, I was in college, living with him at the time, had gone to sleep at about 10 p.m., and I stayed up until about 11:30. At 11:30, I turned off my TV and went to lay on my bed, where I promptly pulled out my phone and began to browse Reddit. This lasted for about 45 minutes before I finally decided to go to sleep. I realized that my throat felt a little dry, so I got up to get some water from the kitchen. My room used to be the second living room off the kitchen, so there was no door on the frame, just a thick curtain. As I approached the curtain, everything was normal. It was just a normal night. The only thing that seemed a little off was how quiet it was. Normally we could hear the crickets chirping, which was there. I lived in a secluded country ranch house, which was unusual as it was quiet. I could still hear my dad's white noisemaker as he used it to help him sleep. It felt like a normal late night. I pulled the curtain aside to step out from the kitchen, and I experienced the single most terrifying thing in my life. Behind the curtain was what I believed to be an alien. It was facing the hallway to my dad's room, and it was in a crouched position. We had a nightlight plugged in right above the kitchen countertop, so I assumed it was trying to avoid the light. Its skin color was sort of dark gray, like a gunmetal color. As I as I pulled the curtain all the way back, the alien turned its head sharply to look at me. I gasped and immediately was overcome by an intense sense of dread and terror. I was quite literally paralyzed by fear. I just stood there with my hand on the curtain, and my mouth was gaped open. It stared at me for a couple of seconds, and then everything went black. I regained consciousness an hour later and was laying on top of my bed, the covers still made. My heart was pounding, and it felt like it was beating a million miles per minute. I saw something on my left, which was the darkest part of my room, and it had a door leading out to our carport. Standing over my bed were three dark gray figures. They were tall. Their heads nearly touched our 7-foot ceilings. They stared at me. The same sense of terror as before came over me. It was of dread and paralysis. I was unable to move, unable to speak, unable to do anything except look. This time they looked at me for much longer than a couple of seconds. It felt like it had lasted over 5 minutes. At the end of that time, sorry guys, hold on. My phone glitched out. It moved its hand towards my foot. It tapped one finger on my foot 3 times, slowly each time it tapped. A strange sensation pulsed through my body. It was just a weird energy that I can't really describe. After the third pulse subsided, the being stood straight up again, and then everything went black again. I regained consciousness yet again, and a minute or two later, still on top of my bed, cover still made, and immediately began to cry. I don't mean just a tear or two. I mean I was quite literally bawling my eyes out for the next few minutes. Eventually, all that emotion subsided, and I grabbed my phone from my bedside table, and it was 1:33 a.m. I didn't end up going to sleep at all that night. I just sort of sat there on my bed trying to explain to myself what had just happened. In the years since this has happened, I've yet to come up with any explanation that doesn't involve aliens, demons, ghosts, or some sort of paranormal phenomenon. I thought of sleep paralysis at first, but I never went to sleep before I saw the first one. I was wide awake still when I went to get a drink of water. I wasn't dreaming because I hadn't gone to sleep. When the three came right after, I thought that it could be sleep paralysis since I woke up on my bed, and I was unable to move or even scream when they looked at me. But now, how did I get into bed when the last thing I remember was looking at the first one in the kitchen? I know you hallucinate whenever you experience sleep paralysis, but I remained motionless and was like, what the hell was that sensation whenever they were tapping my foot? If I was having sleep paralysis, I've never had it before, and I haven't had it since. If it was some sort of spontaneous mental breakdown, I've never had one before, and I haven't had one of those since. If it was just some bad nightmare, when did I go from browsing Reddit to getting a drink of water to asleep and having a nightmare? Every time I think about it, I get an uneasy feeling just thinking about the dread I felt that night. It makes me feel squirmy and nervous. The night felt like death, but I didn't know whatever was in my house or whatever I imagined was malevolent. I didn't know if they hurt me or did anything to me or my dad. I didn't know if I was crazy, sleep deprived, or actually encountered aliens in my house. I've seen and felt some strange things before, and after this, including lost time, seeing what I believe to be UFOs, animals on the ranch we lived on being mutilated. The lost time thing was a little freaky. I was texting my brother about Fallout 4 in the middle of the morning. I was in the middle of a response laying on my bed in my room when all of a sudden I was sitting on the couch in the first living room opposite the kitchen to my bedroom. 7 whole hours had passed and I didn't remember any of it. There were 2 texts from my brother, one about an hour apart, first of which asking me if I got his text, then the second one was just question marks. I was confused and didn't really know what to do or what was going on. The UFO things is self-explanatory. I've seen lights flying over my house in the night. There is an airport about an hour away, and I see planes on occasion. But these lights were always either too fast to be a plane, too slow to be a plane, and too quiet to be a low-flying helicopter. The animal mutilation thing is the saddest part for me. I have about 10 outside cats, or barn cats, that I feed regularly, and who keep away the rattlesnakes and the bugs and whatnot. Most of them are spayed and neutered and vaccinated, but new ones do show up and get pregnant. Ever so often, one of them get killed by a mountain lion, a stray dog, coyote, or other cats. It's gruesome, but it happens. But there have been a couple in the past few months that have made no sense. A single cut down the middle of their bodies, running from their jaw all the way to their genitalia. The cut goes all the way through their sternum and everything. It's always perfectly straight, and none of their internal organs or anything are damaged. It's like someone took a razor and slit them. We found them on our driveway and on the private drive leading up to our driveway. There's never any blood, and the cat is always dead on the ground and already in rigor mortis. It makes no sense, and it makes me sad because I've raised these cats from kittenhood. That's pretty freaky.
What a story. I seen that day in our kitchen.
I believe, reading it, I think you really did see.
I think.
Because, I mean, like you said in the beginning, he wasn't asleep.
He wasn't asleep whenever he went into the kitchen.
And it was tapping his foot.
3 times.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just laying there, getting tapped on the foot?
No.
To me, in my opinion, aliens or anything like that are demons.
Yeah.
It's demonic.
Yeah.
7 foot tall.
Like almost touching your bedroom ceiling.
That's big. Imagine things coming at you.
Imagine just standing around you.
And I'm sure aliens, as some people like to call them, are demons.
I call them demons.
I do too. They can make you do some crazy stuff, I guess, and erase your memory or whatever.
Well, yeah, if
you let it happen, I guess. But I ain't gonna let that happen. Ain't no demons welcome in this brain. I ain't doing all that. What do you?
I think that's what they seen. I think.
I believe he really did see it. I believe he really did see it.
I wouldn't want to.
What do you guys think?
Let
I
us
look
know.
forward to hearing your answers in the comments and seeing what you guys think it is. But I believe that he really did see it.
I did too.
I mean, there's 3 of them there, and he pretty much described what a demon alien thing would look like. But let us know what you guys think. So I appreciate you guys joining us on this story. Thank you. You guys stay blessed, and thanks for joining us.